Hey guys, welcome back to the Birds Party channel. Today I have yet another trash to treasure video to share with you, where we take products and items that would have ended up in the trash or in the bin and we transform them beautifully into affordable, useful and ornamental items to decorate our home in a modern farmhouse style. All these craft projects are really easy to make, are very inexpensive as you can imagine, but they're also perfect for decorating your home on a budget season after season. And our first trash to treasure DIY project started off its life as an old lampshade. This lampshade I had at home, but perhaps you have a lampshade that you have, found at a local thrift store, got a car boot sale, whatever. Just know that you can transform these babies if they're beyond repair. Obviously, we tried to repair this one, but it didn't work out, so my husband was going to chuck it in the bin and I said no, leave it, let me see if I can do something with it. And the first thing that I thought of was to create a spring wreath. Obviously the lampshade did provide me with two hoops, so I have the larger one and I'm saving it for a later date, but I used the smaller one to create a little wreath for spring, to hang it on my wall. You can hang it on your front door, anywhere you like. And basically I just used some burlap ribbon and a little bit of hot glue to create a little banner for my wreath. And this hoop, it was actually metal and white, and I didn't bother painting it because I thought it added a kind of rustic farmhouse look. So for my little banner I decided to use the word welcome, and I got this little stencil printed out in my Silhouette machine, but if you haven't got a cutting machine, you can use a different type of stencil that you can buy online. And then I just use a little makeup sponge to add some paint to my little banner. Obviously I didn't cut my stencil very well, as you can see the top there was a little bit tight, but when you come to do yours you can see the mistakes that I made and do something different. So don't copy exactly what I did there, because it makes your life a little bit more difficult. And obviously after you add the paint, while the paint's still wet, you just weed out the letters and take out your stencil and let it dry. And obviously you can write any wording that you like, welcome, spring, happy birthday, whatever. You can even add your family's name, and then you can leave it at that, or you can do what I did and embellish it even more with some faux eucalyptus branches. You can use real branches as well if you have access to those, but I like to use these faux eucalyptus branches because, as you can imagine, it's more affordable and they last for ages. And basically I just twisted all the branches around the bottom of my little hoop, and whenever I needed to get the branches in place I just added a dab of hot glue and trimmed off all the excess wire that was poking out from the branches. Super easy, and once again you can just leave the wreath as it is and it looks just as pretty, but I went further and added some white faux flowers to the bottom of the wreath as well. And to hang my wreath, just add a little cord to the top with a little bit of hot glue, and voila, I added to the front of this oval frame, and I think it looks so pretty. Our next trash to treasure DIY project is this pretty Hello Spring sign, and also this really cool blessed sign. And for both of these I have created printables that you can download for free, and I'll leave the link down in the description box so you can download yours and create this project, or even use them to just frame them as they are. But what I did, I decided to use some paint stirrers which I had at home, and to make them like rectangular perfectly, I used a pair of secateurs to cut them out, and it's quite easy. So I just kind of forced my way around the end of the paint stirrer and just snapped it off, as easy as that. And then just use a little bit of sanding paper just to make sure they didn't get any rough edges. And the idea here was to use either cardboard or this frame that I had left over from a previous project, and I have quite a few of these at home without the glass, without the frame, and I didn't want to chuck them, so I decided to turn it into a sign. And the idea was to print the Hello Spring sign, which is a free printable for you, once again down in the description box, and I printed that onto label paper because I thought it would make my life easier. And then the idea is just to create the sign using the paint stirrers, and then just add a little wreath to the top, just a little kind of little decoration on top. You don't have to do that, but I think it looks kind of really cute and very farmhousey, if that's a word. And to create the little wreath I just used some wire and some faux branches and just created a little wreath very simply. And for my sign I just peeled off the back of the adhesive paper stuck that to the front of the frame, and just hot glued the little paint stirrers on top and on the bottom. You could frame the whole thing if you wanted, but this is how I decided to do it for this one. So you could use it like a photo frame, just standing on a mantle like I did, or because you already have all the gubbins at the back of the frame, you could hang it on the wall as well, so it'll look really cute either way. And to attach a little ribbon, just a little bit of hot glue to the back, and voila, done. And for my next sign, I just used a piece of cardboard, you know, general cardboard that we all have, you know, from packagings that we're going to chuck in the bin. Anyway, so I used the cardboard for the backing, and I just used a sign that I already had at home just to measure out the size that I wanted. I wanted a rectangular piece, and the idea was the same. So I printed off my Blessed printable, which you can download for free. Once again, the link's down in the description box, onto a label paper, and I just stuck that to the cardboard. And to make this look a little bit more like a sign, I decided to frame it all the way around with the paint stirrers. And I have to tell you guys, the paint stirrers, you can paint them whatever color you like to suit your decor. I didn't do any treatment to mine. I just left them natural, you know, very light wood, because I kind of like the way it looks, like recycled wood or something like that. Anyway, but feel free to take a darker stain or a different color stain and paint the paint stirrers whatever color you like. That would be really cute as well. So I just measured perfectly, cut it to size, and just hot glued the paint stirrers around my sign to make it look really cute, and to give it that kind of rustic farmhouse or modern farmhouse look, if you like. And here they are, my beautiful little signs that were so easy to make, decorating my mantelpiece for spring. For our next DIY project, we're going to be making these beautiful amber candles, and these started off their life as little plain yogurt pots, which we all have at home. And I used some gloss paint in an amber brown color and some soft paint brushes to transform them from boring little pots into amber beautiful little candle holders or votive holders, whatever you want to call them. And the trick here, you guys, is to use a soft paint brush so you don't get a lot of brush marks, and make sure that you really stretch your paint out and make sure that you have a really thin layer all the way around your pot. And if you want a darker color, wait for the first layer to dry and go over it with another coat of the paint. As you can see here, really stretching and pulling the paint so that you have different shades of the amber, and I think it looks infinitely more chic this way. Obviously you could have used the glasses as they were, but I think this way they look perfect as little candle receptacles or recipients for candles. And here basically I'm just using some pour and melt wax and some wicks that I bought online, and you just fill the little pots and then trim off the wicks when the candle wax is all set and hard. And I think they look so pretty, and it's such an affordable project as well. And last but not least are these DIY galvanized flower vases. These are probably my favorite. I don't know, I kind of like the candle ones as well. And they started off their life as these metal coffee tins. This is my drink of choice, and I've been collecting these. As you can see, this one is a little bit rusty. It's been sitting in my garage for a long time, and I don't know what to do with them, so I decided to transform them and give them the galvanized treatment that is so very farmhouse. And you can use a grey paint that is already mixed, and here I'm using some matte chalk paint, and then on top I'm using kind of like a pearlescent paint to give me the galvanized look. And I think this is the best way that I have found so far to give you the galvanized look really simply and really easily with just two paints. As I was showing you in the beginning, you can create your own matte grey paint, you know, and adjust the shade as you like. But basically I've been painting a lot of things, you know, with this technique of making it look galvanized, and you know, because I really like that kind of look. So this is the best one that I have found so far. So you start off with a matte dark base of grey, and like I said, either use it grey from a tub or mix up your own grey, but as long as the bottom coat is darker than the top coat. And the top coat I'm using this pearlescent, so it's a little bit shimmery, to emulate the metal. And I think this is such an easy way to get the galvanized look. And obviously the sponge is key, you guys. So you add quite a lot of paint to the sponge, and it has to be a soft sponge like I'm using here, and you just dab on top of the dry grey paint. So make sure that your first layer is completely dry, the dark grey, and then you go in with the shimmery silver one to make it look galvanized. And this is fail proof. You know, if you want to try the galvanized look, then try this technique. Then afterwards, I decided to add a little stencil. Once again, I cut it with my silhouette. But if you haven't got a cutting machine, you can just leave the pots plain because they look really cute as well. Or, you know, just use any stencil that you can buy online, or create your own if you have a cutting machine as well. And once again, I used a little makeup sponge because that's all I had at home. And a little bit of a black acrylic paint, and I just dabbed that on top. And while the paint was still wet, then I removed my stencil to review the beautiful writing underneath. Some of them were a little bit smudged, I won't lie. But that's the beauty of the farmhouse look. It doesn't have to look perfect, but as you can see, hopefully you can see in the close-up, the galvanized technique really works, and it looks so chic and high-end, like something that you probably bought, you know, at Pottery Barn, if I may say so myself. Anyway, the vases, I filled them with flowers, but you can also, you know, put a little lid on top or add a little, you know, je ne sais quoi to make it more functional and use it in another way. And there you have it, you guys, all the trash to treasure DIY projects that we've created today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the ideas and feel inspired to have a go at home. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because then it lets me know that you guys like this kind of content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.